Desi, what up? RIPP 333 as always. Welcome everybody. We in here. You know I got to roll up as soon as the show start. Yo, I have no idea. My homie gave me this hat. He thought it was very appropriate for me. And I ain't even mad at him. Yo, Dot Rec, what up, homie? Yo, shout out to Dot Rec for sponsoring the show once again. Yo, Dot, you gotta let me know how the audio is going tonight. How about that? Is it better? I got this shit all the way up. I don't want to turn it all the way up. Is that better? It should be. Check, check, check. Woo! The fastest blunt roller in the West, yo. I'll go toe to toe with anybody. Yeah, you know, it was my first stream, Dot. You know, I'm figuring it out, getting my feet wet. So, now that we in here, what the fuck we gonna do? What the fuck we gonna talk about? The fuck y'all want to do tonight? I know I did want to talk about the album cover for the Book of Revelation and how it came about and what it all actually means. Yo, Step Rock, shout out to you. Yo, thanks. I really appreciate it, man. Thanks for being a P-Fed. 333 RIPP. Yo, Mitch, head on over to the YouTube channel, man, so you can hear the audio. The real audio, not me yelling through this damn microphone. Alright, so. Let me see if I can find the cover so we can discuss it. Yo, it's crazy if you Google Hegelian Dialectic, how many fucking like t-shirts and shit that come up that are unlicensed. Dark Matter, what up? Chris, what up? So, let's find one that doesn't look terrible. It's funny, they all say out of stock, out of stock, out of stock, because you can't find the physical anywhere. So, the album cover, man. A lot of people have been asking me what it means, where it came from, you know, basically any information that I can give them. Let's do exactly where the hell this album cover came from. And honestly, this was all P's idea. I had very little to do with this album cover anyway. And you know, it was we couldn't really figure out if we were going to put each book out individually or if we were going to put 1, 2, and 3 together as a whole and just flood everybody with what would essentially have been 50 songs and 3 albums and then just ride off into the sunset. And when we were done with the Book of Revelation, we were so far away from being done on the Book of Heroin and the Book of the Dead that there was no way we were going to sit on the Book of Revelation for what would essentially probably been another 6 months to a year while we waited to get the Book of Heroin and the Book of the Dead done. And I know Pete didn't believe me, but him and I had a bet about the presidential election. And I kept telling him, I was just like, yo, Trump's going to win, yo. And he was just like, his mindset the whole time was there's no possible way that Trump's going to win. You know how the system's built. I know how the system's built. They anointed Hillary decades ago. Like, it was a plan that has been built and put in motion a long time ago. She's basically the anointed one. And it's funny because the day of Election Day, I left South Carolina. I was down in Myrtle Beach playing golf with my homie, and I left South Carolina, and we drove up to New York. And when we hit Williamsburg, that's where we were living at the time, P was already watching the election on TV. And I walked through the door, and I was just like, yo, he's going to win. And he was just like, there's no fucking way. We talked about this. I said, yo, homie, I just drove through 8 states, and I didn't see a blue sign, a blue bumper sticker, blue anything until we hit northern New Jersey. I said, there's New York, there's California, and there's 350 million people in between or so. I said, and those 350 million people seem to be pretty fucking pissed off right now, dude. So he's just like, I bet you. So we're sitting there watching it, and Trump wins. And I was like, I fucking told you, yo. And at that moment, right there, I looked at him, and I was just like, yo, we have to put out the Book of Revelation on Inauguration Day. And he was just like, yo, word, that's a good idea. And plus, you know, Election Day is in November. Inauguration was January 20th that year. So he was just like, that's perfect. The album's done. That'll give us enough time to, you know, build up a little bit before we put it out. He's like, but you're right. This whole album, what it's about, what it stands for, we have to put it out that day. So we put it out that day, or we at least made the decision to put it out by itself and not as a box set. So then, you know, the music was done. So then it became, what's the visual? You know, what do we even put on the front of this that's going to convey this type of message? And the way it came about is basically all the stuff that we were studying and all the stuff that we're into thrown onto the cover in some form, some manner, some way. And P had always, every time we would go get tattoos, you know, P would get whatever P wanted. Scorpions, he was real big into scorpions over the last year, maybe 2 years of his life. That's why he covered up the G-Unit tattoo with a big scorpion on his hand. Because he was a Scorpio, but he was really into scorpions. Side note, the studio in New Jersey that I built him, all the soundproofing was shaped like a scorpion on the ceiling. It was pretty fucking dope. Anyway, he's really big into scorpions, but I always got sacred geometry, you know, esoteric math, things like that, because the ancient ones always said that when you tattoo something onto your body, you attract it into your life. So I always just did math, and plus, I like the math. I'm really big into geometry. And math and physics are the only universal languages. Across any civilization, planet, galaxy, whatever, math is still math. So we go to the tattoo shops all the time. And this one right here is a sacred circle of sound. Now, I drew this myself. And this is a map for the frequencies that I used when I mixed P's album to elevate the listener's consciousness. And he was always just like, yo, that's dope, man. That's dope. I'm going to get that same tattoo. He never did. But funny enough, he started getting geometry and ancient esoteric symbols tattooed. He ended up getting a triangle right in the middle of his chest, right here. And so I'd always explain to him, you know, the sacred geometry, the sacred circle of sound. And basically, whenever I figured out how to implement this and use it effectively, I was sitting in Infamous Studios, and I'd been trying for years to figure it out. And to no avail. You fail a million times before you succeed. And I just had this thought. It just flashed into my head, and I don't know which entity sent me this information, because it just randomly popped into my head. But I thought of Vitruvius Man and that painting of ancient man. And it's basically this one from Leonardo. And that's what Pete was just like, yo, I'm going to use that. Because I explained to him, if you lay the drawing that Da Vinci did over top of this, it gives you the map to how it works on humans. And she's just like, word, that's dope, man. We're going to use that. And that's how we got this. The man in this shape. So that was the beginning. And then P just kind of went from there on his own, man. Him and Dom Dirty kind of just built. So, people always want to know what all this stuff actually means and what was P talking about on this. So, let's see if I can point some of these out and make some sense of this. So, as you can see, this is the idea from Da Vinci. And since that's basically the code of man, the blueprint of man, it was like, which better image to use? And plus, it's all about, especially with images, triggering memories and subconscious thoughts. So you have all this information that's encoded into you already. And then you have all this information that you gain and you store. And you can't necessarily recall all of it instantly, but it's still there. So I'm big on using things that are inherent to all, that all humans have experienced. That's why on Mystic in the very beginning, when I do behind the mix, I'll show you in Mystic, I added the heartbeat sample from inside the womb, because every human who's ever existed, except for test tube babies, I guess, and even then, they still had to be in the womb attached to a uterus, correct? So every human being knows that sound. It's inherent to them. It's nature. So as soon as the album starts off, instantly it's speaking to your subconscious. Boom, instantaneous. And shout out to the anarchist model out of Canada, because she pointed that out as soon as the album came out. She pointed out that the heartbeat and the Native American drums were underneath of Alchemist's drums on Mystic instantly. Yeah, the YouTube always has a huge delay because it takes a while to process it before it goes out. If you're going to watch it, I prefer you watch it on YouTube, because whenever I play music, you'll be able to hear the audio. Anyway, back at it. So that's where this came from. So then it became like, all right, now what are we going to do? Yo, what up, homie? And, it was like, Pete's big into the zodiacs, and I'm big into the math. So it was only natural that we put the zodiac signs around the perimeter of this circle, which also is the same amount of clicks as a clock. So not only are we bound by time, we're also bound by the zodiac, which is time on a macro scale. So that's where all this came from. So Pete just put the signs of the zodiac all around it. So, everybody was born in some month. So again, it's speaking to everyone, and that's always the goal. Is you have to connect with as many people as you possibly can in order to broaden your audience. And it's not just getting an audience. If you connect with these people, then they're going to be fans for life, because you're connecting with, part of their life, their being, their makeup, whatever. So at the time, well, I guess at any time, the world is at war. So clearly, the wars that were going on in the Middle East, that's what all this was for. So if you really look closely, you got to really dig in. I'm going to start digging into this album cover for real. Yo, Optimal, what up? So not only do we have what is assumed to be an Islamist, a Persian warrior, if you will, right off his right shoulder. New York instrumentalist, what up? Yo, head over to the YouTube. I'm going to start playing music eventually. Right over his right shoulder is a refugee. This is an African refugee and her child. So it was basically these conflicts cause refugees. It's like a Hegelian dialectic. You know, create the problem and it offers a solution. So you create the problem and this is the synthesis. And when there are a ton of refugees, you offer the solution, which is resettlement. And you resettle them where you want them to go for various political and socioeconomic reasons, obviously. You know, if you want to change the voting demographic of a certain district or state, then you just import a bunch of people who would vote in the opposite way of what already dominates the political climate in that area. Yeah, Trav, what up? We see you. So you have to think about it in America. If you want to flip Texas blue, since it's been red for so long, you just import a bunch of not only refugees and or immigrants, but people from out of state. So if you import from people from out of state who have a different political view, eventually over time you do it enough, you can flip the state politically. And so that's basically, and me and P always talked about that. You know, it's if you read the Protocols of the Wise Men of Zion, that's one of the main talking points on how to take over the world politically. That's one of the things that you do. So, of course, P put the tank from Tiananmen Square on there right here, as you can see. Because he even said it in the song, we stand in front of your tanks like Tiananmen Square. You know, that's P always thought that was one of the dopest things ever, that one dude stood in front of a line of tanks, and because it was on the news and there was cameras, they couldn't run him over because it would have created basically a civil war. So they just had one guy in a briefcase, man. It's amazing what one human being can do. So over the left shoulder of this jihadist, if you will, is some prison bars with some hands on them. Now, you know, if you've only seen a smaller version of the album cover, you probably don't even catch a lot of these smaller things. So then, you know, behind that is the pyramids in Egypt. So clearly, you know, ancient knowledge, esoteric knowledge, the pyramids in Egypt, the Egyptians, the Mesopotamians, you know, all these people, these ancient societies, that's real big into what P was about. People always ask me what type of books he read and what was he educated on. Besides Dr. York's books, it was all on esoteric knowledge, you know, things like that. But he never got caught inside of that knowledge. He always said you have to read the knowledge so that you can apply it to today. You can't get caught in those old times when that shit was written, because the world has changed so much that a lot of that shit really doesn't apply anymore. And if those philosophers and these the ancient illuminated ones were here today, they would write all new shit. So as you can see, in front of the pyramids is oil derricks and oil wells, because that's what we're really over there for, right? So let's not bullshit ourselves and candy coat anything. Again, cause and effect. Cause and effect. You cause this war, you get these people to leave, and then in their absence, you plunder their resources. So, pretty crazy how that works. So, if you look at the middle pyramid, at the very top is the eye at the top of the pyramid. Tom Dirty did a really good job of sliding that in there and making it look like it was always there. That was dope. Above it, of course, is a full moon. I can't remember if it was a blood moon or a full moon, but it's at the very least it's a full moon. And then on the left pyramid, right above it, is a UFO. So you can see the UFO, and P always talked about UFOs. Me and him always talked about it. He talked in his book. He talked about his own UFO experiences, and on The Therapist, he talked in depth about seeing the UFOs and whatnot. And I got one UFO story when I was with P, and we were driving from LA to San Francisco, and we didn't leave Alchemist's crib until like 1 o'clock in the morning, and I had to drive 6-hour drive. So Twin was just like, nah, son, nah, I got you, God. I'm gonna stay awake the whole time and keep you awake, because I was the only one that was going to drive. And what's Twin do? As soon as him and Al and whoever else was with us, I think Rick Gonzalez was with us, and then the DJ that P was going to use for the show in San Francisco. As soon as they all got into the van, man, everybody went to sleep. Within an hour, everybody was passed out, except P. P sat in the passenger side 6 straight hours, stayed awake the entire time fucking with me, making sure I was awake. And, every hour or so, I'd just be like, yo, P, roll up. And he wasn't even smoking at the time. He would just roll a blunt and hand it to me, and we just keep on moving. So anyway, that drive from LA to San Francisco, man, it's long and boring and straight, and it was dark as shit. There's no lights out there, no nothing. And I kept telling P, yo, we're going to see a UFO out here. And he was just like, yo, you really think so? I'm just like, this is a place to see it. There's no light pollution out here. You can see everything. And we kept talking about it, and he was telling me his stories about UFO experiences, and I was telling him mine. And we kept pointing out that to the left of the rear view mirror in the van, there was this bright-ass star. It was way brighter than the rest of them. And we kept joking. He was just like, yo, that's probably a UFO right there. Yo, and I swear to P, about an hour later, we were still talking about that freaking, the bright light to the left of the rear view mirror, and as we're talking about it, the shit just goes whoosh, pauses for a second, and then just disappeared. Pew, gone. And I looked at him, I was like, I fucking told you we were going to see a UFO out here, yo. And then I looked in the back of the van, and everybody's asleep. So it was just me and Pete for that one. But anyway, he put the UFO in here because of his own personal UFO experiences and whatnot. So we get to over top of the dude's head, and you see what is clearly a nuclear explosion. I can't remember which one Dom Dirty used for that, the image, but it was more than likely one of the real ones. And then, so, coming from the explosion on both sides of the explosion is airplanes, but in 2 different forms. Over top of the left shoulder are all military jets, and the B whatever bomber that is the B-1 or whatever that shit is that's big and black and stealth. And then over what is our left shoulder are commercial airliners spraying chemtrails out the back of them. So, and we move on over to this side over here, and now we're on to the other side. Not the knowledge and the power, but the suffering. So, on this side is Queensbridge's project buildings. And then you see police riots and protesting in front of the project buildings. And then police helicopters flying over top. You know, all the normal hood police state nonsense that we're all slowly sliding into. And then you see a politician who has a black strip over his eyes and strings attached to his arms, because clearly politicians are puppets. So, you know, it's a pretty easy message to send there. And this is a real funny thing that very few people even know. So this right here, where it says no justice, no peace, this little kid protesting, that's P. That's a picture of P as a little kid. And that shit was real funny that he did that. Because he was just like, man, ain't nobody going to know. Nobody's going to know. But now you guys know that right there is actually P as a little kid, which I think is fucking hysterical. So, let me move on to the main thing. All right, so as you can see, this is like an aura scan. You can see the blue haze. This is like the life force or whatnot as the main outline, and then going up through the center, you can see, if you look, all of the chakra points and the colors. And, P wasn't really into yoga or meditation that much, but he was knowledgeable on all of this. And, it's always not about you all the time. If somebody else needs to meditate or do yoga in order for them to reach enlightenment, then that's a beautiful thing. More power to them. It might not be right for you, but what is right for you is not always right for the next man. So, it's funny that he kept the eyes and the brain in here so much to where the rest of it, you kind of see the circulatory system. Like the main veins you can see that are still visible. Dom Dirty did a really excellent job on this, by the way. So on the right side of our main subject here, P has the apple from the Garden of Eden. And, the snake wrapped around the arm, obviously. And on the apple, you have to really look at your album cover if you have it. It says GMO on it. So there's a GMO sticker on the apple. And then this was just a book. Because we were worried about... it's going to be so small in the album cover, can you actually read anything that was written on the book? Excuse me. And the next tattoo that I was contemplating getting, and still am, was Metatron's Cube. And so that's how Metatron's Cube ended up being on there, because I told him the people who know what it is will know it when they see it. And the people who don't, it's supposed to make you follow down the path and look it up. So that's why we dropped so many gems, not only on the album cover, but inside the album itself, that you're just supposed to, they're little nuggets for you to pick up and go and explore on yourself. When you're making music, you can't just command that people listen to you and then be militant on them with your, just drill it into their heads. GMOs, chemtrails, all this stuff. P always said you got to mix food with medicine, or medicine with the food. And so P, towards the end, was just dropping so many gems, but in a whole different way. And so that's how Metatron's Cube ended up on top of the book, because we couldn't figure out which religious text to put on in his hand. Most of his fans are going to be Christian, or at least have a history of Christianity in their family. So the most sense would be to put the Bible on there, but again, it was a better idea to put some more geometry on there anyway, because I'm all about that shit. So in what is his left hand, and on our right side, clearly there's a gun in one hand, and then the scales of justice in another hand with we debated on what to put on the scales. And again, it's just something else that was so small. This is so small once you're looking at an album cover, a 3x3 sticker, or, look, on a sticker, look how small it is. Like, you're never going to see something extremely detailed there. So it was more, X Factor, what up? It was more about, putting things that at least people can see and recognize. And, we're kind of like limping across the finish line at this point. And it's just like, what else can we put on here? And, it's always about the math and geometry. And, that's how we ended up putting these there. And that's that's how all this happened, man. I know there's a YouTube video with a guy explaining all the things that are on P's album cover, and I actually did a response and told him exactly what they actually meant and what was on there and how they got there. But that's how the album cover came to be. And then, honestly, man, P just gave me the picture, and I was just like, that's it. There was no debate. I was like, this is it. So, back sponsored by Pure Leaf. So, we go to the studio, and it was Mark the Beast studio over by Static Spot, and Pete just gives me some mushrooms, and I'm never really been big into psychedelics because my mind already is kind of nuts, and he was just like, yo, man, you gotta look at this album cover on psychedelics. And I was just like, you know what? You're kind of right. As metaphysical as this is, what we're doing, you're right. We're going to actually have to be on psychedelics and then listen to it and look at it and then see if it works. So we took a bunch of mushrooms, and we were sitting there just staring at the album cover. And when you look at the album cover, when you're on psychedelics, through the circulatory system, you can see the blood pumping. And then all of the chakras were like pulsing. And it was really fucking cool, man. It was a whole different experience. But it also let me know that that was the right cover. I can't even really say that we picked the right cover because, I mean, though it was me and P doing this album, I'm not going to take credit where credit is not due, because the name and the album cover, that was all him, man. I made the music. He gave me the pieces to the puzzle, and I put it together for him the way I saw. And then he kind of just... yeah, Optimal was crazy, man. That'll be a real funny story for the book, is the rest of our night walking around Bushwick tripping on mushrooms. Me and P, 3 o'clock in the morning. That shit is the only reason that I agreed to it, is so we could check the album and so that I could have a funny story to tell, because I had never done mushrooms up to that point in my life, so how could I not if the first time ever is going to be with P? What a crazy story. So that's how the album cover came about, man. So the next thing that I'm going to do about book one is I'm going to start doing behind the mix videos. And that'll be more for the music makers and not really for the 333 community, unless you just want to hear me talk about the same song over and over and over again. But I will be showing you and breaking down how I mixed each of the records on the album until we do the entire album. So, with that being said, I want to listen to a record real quick and stop talking so much. So, if there are any requests, I do take requests. Let me see what I want to listen to. I can't listen to those. But
thank you, Jesus. Thank you, Jesus. Thank you, Jesus.
Now listening to the sounds of a God in the flesh. My lineage is ancient. I come from beyond any place you could imagine. In your imagination, mommy was my spaceship. It took her 9 months to get me here. I finally made it. Goodness gracious, great balls of fire. My star got 6 points, so I burn brighter. than any pentagram on Hollywood sidewalk. I'm much too hot, you cannot cool me off. Not a sun, don't chill, Allah. Check the rhyme that I spill on y'all. It's the best by far. Initiate of the sacred brotherhood of elite rappers. I'm a master builder, grand verbalizer, young old timer, the tippy top shot original Dandada is written in the stars. Look me up then, 2 or 3 bars, got you pay attention. I'm gifted, my rap is mystic. It's codes that I speak so the police missed it. Spray painted on the walls, the writings on the walls. I'm gifted, my rap is mystic. It's codes that I speak so the police missed it. Put on some real tough shit that I can rock to, to write the illest words you ever could bop to. I live the illest life you ever could have. So much joy I cry, so much pain I laugh. At my best I am excellence, and my words are not inspired by the beat. Shit come out weak, it's not bad for a bad day. I smack you and knock your head off, damn. I don't know my own strength like a lion. I was just trying to play, it's not my fault you fall apart so easy. I need to be with my own kind. Take me to where the rap music is powerful, beats and rhymes. Whole nother channel, don't be so shallow. Expand your taste, it's more to life than your narrow mind think. And we live from the refuge. Is anybody out there? It's written in the stars. Look me up then, 2 or 3 bars, got you pay attention. I'm gifted, my rap is mystic. It's codes that I speak so the police missed it. Spray painted on the walls, the writings on the walls. I'm gifted, my rap is mystic. It's codes that I speak so the police missed it.
Woo, yeah, I don't know if you can really hear it.
Thank you, Jesus. Thank you, Jesus.
Listen.
Thank you, Jesus.
Al, he already laid the blueprint for me. It wasn't even difficult for me to put a heartbeat into it because he had already had a sub hit in the spot. So I wasn't really, it was just me walking the path laid in front of me, you know, like the force was guiding me or something. But all right, so back to the discussion at hand. So I put up the poll on Instagram, and of course the overwhelming majority of people wanted to know what is up with books 2 and 3. So let's see how I can word this properly. They will come out in due time. So I will talk about the creation of them and what they really mean. So, as I've told the story before, we were actually working on the Book of Heroin first for a while. And, you know, we were just throwing records together and just trying to, you know, because after Albert Einstein, P, you know, really didn't know which direction to go in. And Kendrick had put out Good Kid, Mad City. So when we heard that, it was just like, oh man, let's like paint some pictures. So Albert Einstein, and then we're working on an album with Harry Fraud at the time, and another Alchemist album. We were going to do Albert Pike, but then Rick Ross put out Albert Anastasia, and when he did that, P was just like, yo, I can't, because we were going to do a whole series of Alberts, because that was P's name. There was Albert Einstein, and then Albert Pike, and then there was going to be a third one. And Rick Ross put out the Albert Anastasia album, and then P was just like, well, I can't do that anymore, so we deaded the Albert Pike idea right there on the spot. And so then P was just like, well, I'm just going to keep working on the Book of Heroin. And that was the idea the entire time. Until we made Hunger Pangs and Microcosm. So, instead of me sitting here and explaining this to you, why don't we just check out this video of P explaining the Hegelian dialectic. Shout out to
one of the
Infowars
plays
for
that we
always
see
fucking
being
with P.
used throughout history by the controllers to manipulate the masses is their interpretation of the Hegelian dialectic. Now, this is loosely translated as problem, reaction, solution, order out of chaos, but this is an 18th century theory that basically says the human mind cannot understand anything unless it is split into opposites, and then the discussion that's in the middle would be the synthesis or the solution. But the problem that we're seeing today is that this theory is being exploited to manipulate the population. It's kind of the left-right divide and conquer, left versus right, black versus white, keeping all of us fighting amongst ourselves. So while we're divided, they are conquering us by providing us with their solution, their answer to our problems. And basically what we're going to see is that conflict can only be resolved by some global authority, some outside authority, rather than our own sovereignty, our innate sovereignty. So my guest today has actually just released a solo album based on the Hegelian dialectic. This is Prodigy. He's a multi-platinum recording artist and member of one of the most legendary names in hip-hop, Mobb Deep. Prodigy is an iconic voice in the genre. He's always been very outspoken in his lyrics about conspiracy theories, the Illuminati, secret societies. He's also released many critically acclaimed albums as well as books, including his latest, Commissary Kitchen, My Infamous Prison Cookbook. It's a book about food and nutrition in correctional facilities, and it was actually banned in the California correction system because it contained a recipe for alcohol. And when he isn't touring, Prodigy is traveling the United States, lecturing at venues like MIT about the prison system and offering insight on changing the quality of inmates' lives. So Prodigy, thank you so much for joining us today. It's a pleasure to have you on the show.
Thank you. Thank you for having me, for real.
Now, I got to admit, I was kind of doing a little bit of research, kind of brushing up on the Hegelian dialectic last week, and after just kind of reading up on it, I see it everywhere. You're seeing it with all the protests. I mean, we are living in it, living, breathing this left-right divide right now at present. Obviously, you're seeing this as you're writing your album. So how are you seeing this playing out presently?
Well, man, I mean, I've been working on this album for the past 3 years. It's a 3-album project. So the one that's out right now is just the first one. And then the next 2 will be coming out soon. Yeah, the whole time making the album, man, just seeing what was going on in the world and then all the way up until what's happening right now, it's like the music for this album, man, just fits perfectly for what's happening right now. Like the name of the album and everything. I mean, that's why it always been fit perfect. But now, especially, all the controversy that's going on right now in the world and more than ever before, it's just like, it's a perfect fit for what's happening, you know what I mean? Even like on the album cover, like, you know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. Just, the album cover is just dealing with me trying to be a spiritual, good person and do the right thing with myself in this world, and then also dealing with all the craziness with the politics and everything else we deal with these companies, big corporations, and the laws, judicial system, you know what I mean? Just everything, man, is built against, minorities, you know what I mean? And it's like, now we're in a time where it's time to dismantle all of that. You know what I mean? It's time to dismantle that old way of life, man, and grow as humanity. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? And grow as people, man, as human beings. You know what I mean? Men, women, everybody, man. You know what I mean?
Absolutely. Well, we're seeing this.
You can probably see it on my face. This is literally the first time that I have watched a P video since he's been gone, Other than the footage that I have, so I can make some YouTube videos and some IG posts to kind of hold the fans over until we can actually put this music out. This is the first time that I've actually sat down and it did this. Huh.
This resistance where you're seeing the masses kind of have been waking up now for a while. People are really activating, really mobilizing for their certain causes. But the thing that's really kind of disappointing to me is I appreciate seeing the masses kind of awakening, but they don't realize how they're being kind of useful idiots and being paid to protest certain things, or you're thinking, why are you only protesting Donald Trump? Why weren't you ever protesting all, President Obama dropping all the bombs in the first place that created the refugee crisis? Why are you just protesting now? So we're sort of seeing people being mobilized and their energy and their awakening being manipulated there again with this Hegelian dialectic, because they're being manipulated to bring the outcome that kind of your globalist controllers would want to see happen. How do you want to talk to people and let them see how they're potentially being used?
Yeah, man. I mean, there's a lot on the album on the part one of Hegelian Dialectic, the Book of Revelation. There's a lot dealing with that. Just telling people, man, like, you gotta start, graduate to the next school of thinking, man. Like, you know what I mean? We like I was saying, we in the time for us as humans to evolve. Technology and the world is becoming smarter. Kids are smarter. Like, it's time to evolve, man. And it's good to be out there and protest for rights and things you're supposed to do, but there's a way to do it also, man. There's a way to do it in the times that we living in now. Legally, the legal process, and just doing things the right way. The world is already changing, so it's just gonna happen. So all you gotta do is just follow the right process and live the right way, and don't feed into all of this craziness, man. Because there's a lot of they promoting race war, they promoting religious war. They got us out here protesting, arguing for shit that's not even what we should be protesting, arguing for. Like, you got to be real careful with that type of shit, man. That's not a joke. Now, look, a lot of protests and things from the past, of course, brought us to, it helped change things for Black people, for minorities, for the world. You know what I mean? A lot of the protests helped, with Martin Luther King and Rosa Parks, just to name a few. The ones that people really know. Those protests help change things, help, change human rights, civil rights, you know what I mean? And it was a good thing, you know what I mean? But we living in a time right now, a super information age, and, it's obvious that anybody could be successful and make a difference, you know what I mean? The right way, without just being so ignorant about it. There's a lot of ignorance out there in the world. And I know that's what you're saying. Like, there's a lot of ignorant people out there that protest. They're doing a lot of crazy ignorance. They're protesting for a lot of the wrong things at the wrong time. They're going about it the wrong way. That's what I would say.
Well, yeah, they're fighting fascism with fascism. They're being violent. They're setting things on fire, rioting, and they're doing this to stop free speech. I mean, I'm presently speaking about the riots taking place at UC Berkeley, where it's mind-blowing, because UC Berkeley was the place where they started the free speech movement, where you had college campuses, students fighting for the right to have different versions of political actions and talks and speakers be able to come on their campus, because up until then, free speech wasn't allowed on college campuses. They did away with it. So they were fighting for that. And now we're seeing the exact opposite, where they're actually lighting things on fire to stop free speech on college campuses. What do you think about kind of what's going on there with the millennials?
I mean, anything that stops free speech is not good. like.
All right, so let me explain something that I know people have commented on this particular video before, and they were just like, yo, P is high as hell in this interview, and yes, he was. Because that's when I know I got someone around here somewhere. The vape pens had really just came out, And P really liked those because he didn't have to smoke so much. He could just hit it when he wanted to. And, you know, we were all new to that feeling, the vape pen feeling. And he was vape penned out of his skull in this interview. It's mad funny to see this kind of.
Like, I can't get with that. You know what I mean? I need my freedom of speech. This is what I do for a living. My freedom of speech is my business. You know, that's how I conduct my business out here in this world. America, capitalism. You know what I'm saying? You can do anything you want in this world, man. You know what I mean? This is definitely a great, and this country right here, this country is the best country for a reason. You know what I'm saying? Like, this country is like a science experiment. It's like a test tube baby. You know what I mean? I got a song called Test Tube Babies. And that's what this America is. Like, they you know what I mean? It's a science experiment, test tube baby like it's a mutant. You know what I'm saying? We're mutants, you know? We like the X-Men out here. So it's like it evolved into something that is not how it started. It started from foul, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, a lot of genocide, a lot of murder, you know, thieving of the Indians' land. But we here now, and it happened. So what you gonna do about it?
Word. Like I said, he always said, what's that have to do with right now? So I know there's another video where he explains this. It might have been on Facebook. Let's see if I can find it on Google. But yeah, man, you know, it's the you create the problem, you wait for the reaction, and then you offer the solution. So if you want to create gun control, then you shoot up a school full of kids. And then everybody's just willing to give up their guns. Or, you know, if you want the cancer industry to be profitable, because as a politician, you are invested in it, then you will create things legally and politically that allows you to push the boundaries on what is actually safe for human consumption. You pump the food full of steroids and growth hormones and things of that nature, and then when everybody's sick, you offer up the medicine. So musically, it was like, how do you create that musically? So when we had a whole bunch, we had probably, I'd say 7 or 8 maybe records that we had made for, well, after Microcosm and Hunger Pangs. And those two, we probably had like 7 records that all kind of felt the same. And that's when I was kind of waiting. I was being patient. And I sat down with P and I was just like, yo, we got like 7. You know, if we get like 5 more, we'd have a whole album of just this. I said, so then you can take those other records, and we are already working on the Book of Heroin, so we could take these other records and make the 3rd album out of it, and that would be the 3. The cause, reaction, and then solution. And we already had the 3 album idea before he even came up with the name. He came up with the name. I told you another story. I was playing Grand Theft Auto, and he just popped in and was like, Hegelian Dialectic. I was like, what the fuck is that? And he was just like, that's what we're going to... And he told me, explained it to me. He said, that's what we're going to name the album. I was like, perfect, and went right back to doing what I was doing. But, so this one, the way that we structured it was the cause would have been... genetically modified food, control the education system, political discourse, protesting, civil unrest, all the things that are occurring now, gun control. Angela, what up? And then that's the cause. So you create all these issues, and then what is going to be the reaction? So in society, when you create this problem, what is the people's reaction? Sex and drugs and rock and roll. Like, people don't want to have to deal with their problems. They'd rather run from them. And if you can legally put everybody on drugs, i.e. prescriptions, then, there's no reason for a lot of people to say no. So, the reaction is the Book of Heroin. And it's all about sex and drugs. So that's how we explain the people's reaction, because people are just basically going to pull the ostrich move and bury their head in the sand and just hope that, all the bad shit just passes by. But that's not how it works. So the fun thing with the Book of Heroin is, hold on while I add YouTube again, is when we were talking about it, the first couple records, the main subject of the records was kind of ambiguous. And by saying ambiguous, I mean if you thought about it when you listened to them and you replaced the female, the focus of the record, with drugs, as if you were an addict, then the record still played itself out properly. And I was just like, yo, you should do the whole album like that. And P was just like, yo, that's dope, man. It's going to be hard. But, I mean, come on. I was just like, dude, you're Prodigy. Like, if anybody can do this, you can do this. So, oh shit, Dubs. We got a special guest on Instagram. If I can get him in here, we'll see if he can give us a Prodigy story. Shaba Dubs. What up, yo, son? Yo, son, you gotta come be on the show. Yo, Dubs, hit my DM, man. You gotta come be on the show. Your shit is mad bouncy. So anyway, I was just like, yo, fuck, my bad, everybody. I was just like, yo, that could be the reaction. Will be the sex and drugs. And since if you really listen to it, man, if you think, you can't tell if he's talking about sex or drugs. That's why it's the Book of Heroin with an E. And it's both heroin and heroin. So everything's multi-layered. So the Book of Heroin essentially is the people's escape. And then the solution is called the Book of the Dead. And that's death and destruction. You know, P was big about the triad and 333. And I'm all about the math. So doing 3 albums just felt geometrically correct, if I could say that. So, if you really listen to P's music, especially if you listen to the HNIC series, since there's 3 of those, each of those HNIC albums has a different feel to them. HNIC 1 was like that gritty, hardcore P. HNIC 2 was the conspiracy theory, Illuminati P. And then HNIC 3 was the sex and girls. Because those are the 3 things that P like to rap about. And he always said he don't care if nobody don't like his songs about girls and partying, because girls do. So, that's basically how it all came about, and how one album turned into 3 and then turned into a concept. You know, I'd been trying to... It's funny that Tyson chimed in on Instagram to join the live story, because he's the one who took me to meet P in the first place. And I always told P, the first time I met him, I was like, yo, we can make an album that will be Grammy worthy. I'm not saying we're going to win, because I know how the industry is, but that is worthy of one. And he was like, oh, word. And I was just like, yo, we got to make a whole album of that shit, you know. There's always like P records that are like, that knowledge. See if I can find which one I'm looking for. Oh, I gotta plug my hard drive in, y'all. So, that's what. So, as we're sitting here, I want to play another record. Ooh.
I'ma clap like
Yeah. Grandmama taught me how to run my own business. Granddad taught me how to write my own lyrics. My pops taught me balance. My mom taught me peace and love that made a great balance. My positive and negative charge. A blow the gauge, I'm off the meter, I'm a creature unlike anything you seen. Stop lying, you ain't never heard of nothing like P. Been jocking my style since I was 15. I'm groundbreaking, I should have my own genre. You sound like any other rapper, you washed up. The streets taught me how to spot fraudulence. Like as soon as I see it, I already peeped it. You ain't low, motherfucker, roaches, I put the lights on. You should be yourself more, get you more far. The pragmatic life, get a grip on it. Yeah, the team that gave birth to a warrior. And I'm fighting a good fight. Rather die swinging, everybody dies. Man, life too quick, I need more time to live, cause I ain't...
Y'all can't hear the audio? Uh-oh. Uh-oh. How did that happen?
Done yet.
Lips like
I'm fighting the good fight. Rather die swinging, everybody dies. Man, life too quick. We got a lot of things to do. We ain't done yet, no. Grandmama taught me how to lead. Granddad taught me to produce my own beats. Pops taught me to smile. My mom showed me how to roll a joint. Then she gave me Malcolm X to anoint me with black pride. That black power of our ancestors. Strike a nerve when I speak those words.
Oh, since I fucked up the audio, let me get to my original thought. I'm high, y'all. I be high when I'm doing this shit. Like, alright, so anyway, one of my favorite P records. Come on. When I try to do the preview, this shit goes bad slow, y'all.
The original evil bastard, cutthroat warmonger, backstabber, betrayal.
What the fuck?
Your own mother. You double tongue, double talk, cause you two-faced it. You triple six with a hiss like Satan. No good snake, you only speak lies. Slime bucket scum of the universe, your eyes reveal that you had no soul and expose your true colors. I see you from 3 million miles away. Yeah, you's a sneaky motherfucker, but you can't fool me. You're not my bro, you're not my sis. The devil doesn't have a skin color or complexion, so you're not my brother, you're not my sister. Yeah, your skin might be brown, but I know that you down with about 2 billion demons. Listen, stay the fuck away from me or get killed for treason against the Most High. You might got these other people scared of you, but that shit don't fly. Over here, we laugh at you, but it's not a joke, cause people need to know about the black devil. Yeah, the real outcast. Your time is up, it's not the end of the world, it's the age of Aquarius. You's a deceiver, you got the whole world confused in a daze like some rats in a maze. You's a shapeshifter, I don't care if you the Pope, the President or Prime Minister, King, Queen, Prince or Princess. You just frontin' for the public and you frontin' for the press, but behind closed doors, what really goes on is ritualistic, cannibalistic, sadistic, masochistic, some real sick shit. The most wicked there is that ever lived under the sun, the infamous Daywalker. The movie Blade's just metaphorical. Yes, the greatest trick that the devil ever pulled is convincing the world the devil don't exist. People have no clue. They looking for a red man with a pitchfork, but that's just not true. Some say it's the white man, but yo, I'm here to let you know you ain't know about the black devil.
Yeah, yo, peace, God. Today's mathematics, God.
Yeah, science, man. Knowledge, equality of all people, even though physically we not all equal. Erase the racism. The only thing I see when I look at a person is good or evil. But the black man is God. Yeah, that shit sound good, but that shit don't apply when you try and get a job. This is real world music, reality rap. We spend too many years on that fantasy crap. It's time we deal with the facts. And the fact is, you're not better than somebody cause the color of your skin. After 3 years in prison, and a white boy showed me more love than any of my so-called niggas. So you can go and boof your doctrine. The only thing that matters is you negative or positive, and you could go to hell even where I'm sure you'll be fine with the rest of your kind. People are so blind, so deaf, so dumb, which proves you won the battle but the war not done. You might got these other people fooled, but you can't fool we, cause we know that you a black devil.
Yo, I love that record, man. It's funny because when we got done recording that one, I was just like, yo, man, you gotta save this for the album. He was just like, nah, we're gonna put this out. So that's how it ended up on the Complex magazine EP that we did. And it's funny because I want to remix and have those records all remastered, because I mixed that entire project in one night, because I didn't know when we was going to put it out. I was kind of waiting for P to pick the records and then, decide, at least give me a heads up on when we was going to put it out. And he didn't. He just looked at me. He was just like, yo, we're not going to record tonight. You got to mix all those records for Complex. I was just like, what? I was like, oh, shit. And the funny thing is I'm in the middle of mixing the first record. The first one I did was Twilight. And it was the first time I was ever really, besides recording, like putting shit together for P. And I'm like really trying to focus, but I know I only have what is essentially 12 to 16 hours to do 6 to 8 records. And I'm just like, oh, fuck, this is crazy. But, I'm built for it. I've done it before. So it was just a matter of just executing your skill set. But as I'm mixing Twilight, Havoc walks in. And he's just like, yo, what y'all doing in here? And I was just like, I was like, yo, we mixing these records for this Complex EP that P's putting out. And he was just like, oh, word. Complex don't want to have. He looks at me, he's like, yo, Joe, they trying to stifle my pen, yo. And P was just like, nah, man, go ahead and jump on something, yo. Because, P was paroled to the studio, so we never left. So, it's like we're literally constantly in the lab. So at any moment, it's just like bang, 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 work. And then Havoc, he just liked the one that I was mixing. And that's how Havoc ended up on this record.
Consumes the neighborhood streets, the neighborhood hoods and the neighborhood creeps. Come out to play with their hats pulled down and their hoodies pulled low below their eyebrows. Take your ass in the crib, you're not down for the madness, about to go down. 3 at night, night shift workers come home, they walk fast, scared to go through their own block. Yeah, it's that bad. The villains making a killing, selling pieces of weight. E&J inside a hot chamomile tea, keep them warm cause the cold air cut your skin. It's bleeding outside but the block's still clicking. There's cameras in the hood but the fiends still smoke. The narcs making movies, they looking for the role of the world's dumbest criminal, caught on film, while the real criminal minds continue to thrive in the hood. In the twilight, you hear guns bark, street lamps getting shot out to keep the block dark. We post up in the blackness of the shadows, only crackheads and dope fiends that travel. With police and at their own risk. If you not from this hood, get your ass out the bricks. Most bodies get caught at night. You be choking on blood, staring up at the stars in the twilight. It's 2012 and drugs still moving. The balance don't stop and the prisons is full with Scarface thugs, C's and B's who do years and come back to the same routine. Some say the game over, they must be blind. Bet they don't come through the real hoods at night with that theoretical shit. You shit your drawers, you get raw for your outfit, you take that off. This poverty rules the world, the rich is outnumbered. You can't straddle the fence, pick a side, fucker. You got till the sun go down, cause when that full moon rises and the wolves come out, And the cocaine vampire slinging hard white. From dusk to dawn, it's nothing like the movies. We drink holy water, rock crucifixes, and eat garlic and onion chips for dinner. The hood in the twilight, you hear guns bark, street lamps lit. Shout out to keep the block dark. We post up in the blackness of the shadows. Only crackheads and dope fiends that travel. With police enter at their own risk. If you not from this hood, get your ass out the bricks. Most bodies get caught at night. You be choking on blood, staring up at the stars in the twilight.
Yeah, and this is right up my alley, P. Likewise, won't let a nigga straddle me. Call up the cavalry, the salary is running low. Now I'm at his stove, tell me what I wanna know. I need addresses, how to access it. You know it's something if you got that nigga half stressing. Your mans know it, got him stocking up on mad vests. I've been down this road, so this my last ditch effort. No homo, everybody get naked. Play hero, I spin you like you hit record. My goons bipolar, eyes over shoulder. And how ironic, more gruesome when I'm sober. Nocturnal, won't rush so I learn you. Chase pussy, got a bitch in your guy's circle. I send shots at your top colonel. Talking all that fly shit, that's what in the
hood in the twilight, you hear guns bark. Street lamps getting shot out to keep the block dark. We post up in the blackness of the shadows. Only crackheads and dope fiends that travel. With police enter at their own risk. If you not from this hood, get your ass out the bricks. Most bodies get caught at night. You be choking on blood, staring up at the stars in the twilight.
Yeah, that's how Havoc ended up on that Complex EP, because he walked in while we were mixing it. He killed that verse though, and he even said, "Yo, this is right up my alley, P." That's as soon as he said, "Yo, just play the joints," and I just played the one we were mixing. That's what he said. "Yo, this is right up my alley." Well, that's how that first line got in there. That's hilarious. Yeah, on that Complex EP was mostly Sid Rome's beats. Sid Rome's and King Benny. Shout out to King Benny. Come on, get in. In or out? Pick one. Pick one. You gotta pick one. When the mascot is in the building. Y'all already know. It's wolf season. So, yeah, Sid Rome's did most of this project. But I think that all my favorite records from it are from King Benny. They were like... They're like all the realest records to me. That's the P I liked. Black Devil. And Stronger. That's one of my favorites.
Strong enough to take the pain inflicted again and again. What do they call me?
My name, bitch.
My name is Strong.
Yeah. Hey yo. The moonlight shines on the New York skyline. Midtown is lit up, the city is mine. As I drive across Queensbridge, I see it clearly from my POV. This is fact, not theory. Yeah, that rapper got money, but that rapper can't walk through this concrete jungle cause he doing it wrong. New York belongs to Don P. You can have the rest of the world, I'm good with these streets. Skyscrapers and housing buildings. I know about London, but I prefer Brooklyn. I know about Marseille, but I prefer Queens. And while you hire cops, I prefer my team. I got a powerful army, it's no need for a gun. You want hardcore rap, you fucking with the right one. This is maximum strength, there's no need for drugs. You want reality rap, homie, you got the right one. I'm
strong enough to take the pain.
Fire, yo.
Inflicted again
One of
and
my favorite P
again.
songs ever.
What do they call me? My name is strong.
You know what?
Strong.
Maybe once every tangerine moon, I'll be in the mood to paint the town red with your corpuscles and plasma, some violent art. These thoughts in the corners of my mind are dark, but then the Times Square lights, they switch my whole attitude. Reminds me of billions that loot. I must persist, I must pursue the rest of my success. I am not through. They tried to put my run to an end, but it sure is the point on the state building. I stand tall, wipe the dirt off my clothes when I fall down. I'm way too strong. This is my town, my subways and sidewalks. I done ran through these gutters like a tunnel rat park. Waist deep inside of the shit, in the midst of the action where people get hit. Look,
Strong enough to take the pain. Inflicted again and again. What do they call me? My name is strong.
yeah, you ain't never been touched means you don't participate within the fuckery. You stay comfortably distant from pain infliction. Meanwhile, I'm flirting with death. She put her lipstick on the collar of my shirt next to my jugular. I ain't trying to keep her, I just want to fuck her when I pass through. I'm too committed to life. She a bitch, but I love her, refuse to part from her. I'm Destiny's child, I survived it all. The Most High got a special plan just for me. My table is set with cake for days. I'm a little bit late, but it's okay. My future's so bright that I gotta wear shades. I follow in the footsteps of LL Cool J, 50 and P Diddy. My relentless drive to thrive and prosper made me
Strong enough to take the pain. Inflicted again and again. What do they call me? My name is strong. What do they?
Yeah, I love that record, man. No, I really do. That shit is incredible. It always makes me think, though, about a video that I put up on Instagram. Let me see if I can find it. That's not it.
maximum strength. There's no need for drugs. You want reality rap, homie, you got the right one. I'm
strong enough to take the pain. Inflicted again and again. What do they call me? My name is strong.
You know what?
Strong.
Maybe once every tangerine moon, I'll be in the mood.
Yeah, man, we used to work out all the freaking time in the lab. But every time I hear that song, I think about that video that I have of him doing push-ups. Because when he first got out, he's just out 3 years in the box, man. He's he was really in shape, so he was wanting to stay in shape. And I played football in college, so I was with it. I was like, "Word, let's do this." So we was always working out in the lab. Yeah, the Ustream days, Trav. You already know Saturday Night Live, which is why I do this on Saturday nights at midnight, paying homage to P and everything we did, man. Yeah, man, I tried to, it was good for P's health to work out too. So I tried to make him, not make him, but, if I was working out, he would work out. And, when we lived in Kew Gardens at the penthouse, I actually had a full weight bench with all the 45-pound plates, everything. And we had this huge balcony, so we put the weight bench out on the balcony, and we was just working out in the crib all the time. It was, made managing his health easier when he was healthy and working out and whatnot. But yeah, man, that record's stronger. As much as I love that, it just reminds me of Pete just doing push-ups. And me in the beginning, man, I didn't want to film too much because I wanted to be in the moment. I didn't want to live it through a lens. I recorded a lot. I could have recorded an infinite more amount of footage, but I was this was my path and this was my experience, so I want to make sure that I experienced it. So but now, hindsight's always 20/20. I'd love to have more footage than I do, but I have it all here. But man, Stronger and Black Devil, those are really good records, man. Shout out to King Benny on that. Yo, shout out to today's sponsor. And if you sponsor me, I do send out gifts, it seems, if I can. I have some things. I am high as shit. Shout out to today's sponsor. I want to make sure I get this right. Make sure you follow him. FireInk36 sent me the ill. I just hit him up on social media, man, because I like people's work. And he got the Hegelian Lyric shirt, and he sent me the super ill printout. This all glossy as hell, man. I was super surprised when he sent this. But FireInk36 on Instagram, yo. Make sure you follow him and hit him up for your prints, man, because this shit is dope. Man. I just said I appreciate his work. And he let me know that he had already sent one to P's daughter, which was dope as hell, man. I didn't even have to ask him to do that. He did it anyway. So let's listen to another record, because the fact that you can hear as I hear it is so dope to me. Shout out to my little homie. Shout out to Dot Rec, everybody that helped make this show happen. Because, you can't do everything on your own. HQ, what up, homie? I do know that I am going to do an Albert Einstein, Behind the Albert Einstein episode soon. I don't know when. It's going to be soon. I'm going to do some Behind the Mix episodes. I'm going to do an episode for every single record on Hegelian to basically explain how I did everything and why. Let me find another super dope. I don't want to listen to that one. Y'all tell me Yo, yeah, like I said, hit up Fire Inc. 36, man. Hit him up, man. Support the community. I'm trying to find a record that we can listen to real quick. I want to start doing like I should plan it out a little bit more. Y'all know I just kind of freestyle this whole thing as I do it. But like an hour of like a radio show, because I've got so many records that I can play, let alone the ones that I can't. Oh, why play that one when we could watch the video? It's like my favorite.
I sit alone in my dirty ass room staring at candles, high on drugs, all alone with my hand on the Mac 10 handle, scheming on you niggas. I sit alone in my dirty ass room staring at candles, high on drugs, all alone with my hand on the Mac 10 handle, scheming on you niggas. By myself in my four-cornered room watching Hard Boiled. I feel like I'm crazy, my brain on drugs, my bulletproof on run. Flats, later tonight I'ma look for cuz. Just ride through his hood and when I see that chump, I'ma jump out the truck and dump my gun. You ain't never been through it, so you scared of that kind of shit. Hear me on the song and say, P pop a lot of shit. Too much of that gangster music, nah, this reality rap, I really go through it in interrogation rooms. I don't crack, nigga, I got nothing for ya. Talk to my lawyer, shit. Nowadays it's hard to kill, be careful where you pull that trigger. They got you on film, they got eyes in the sky. We under surveillance, that OnStar on your car, track A where you been. Gotta watch what I say, they tapping my cell phone. They wanna sneak and peek inside of my home. I'm paranoid, and it's not the weed. In my rear view mirror, these cars, they follow me. So I bust rights and lefts and rights, till I stop seeing those Impala headlights. Then I circle my block to make sure it's smooth before I go upstairs to my four-cornered room. I sit alone in my dirty ass room staring at candles, high on drugs, all alone with my hand on the Mac 10 handle, scheming on you niggas. I sit alone in my dirty ass room staring at candles, high on drugs, all alone with my hand on the Mac 10 handle, scheming on you niggas. I'll be alone in my hot ass room, smoking dope, loading bullets in my clip for you. I ain't even wiping my sweat, it's keeping me cool. I ain't even sweating you niggas, I'ma find you. Eventually, it happens like this. At the club with his boys, at the mall with his bitch. Nigga think it's gonna be a fight? Ha! Death comes to those who wind me up, and you can beg me to stop, but I just keep putting pressure on the trigger till you fast asleep like a baby. Ain't no maybe, coulda, shoulda, woulda, shot back, you too hasty. I'm so impulsive, I start gunning right in front of Jesus, Mary, and Joseph. If that's what it is, nigga, I'ma live. You not playing me like the neighborhood bitch. I sit alone in my dirty ass room staring at candles, high on drugs, all alone with my hand on the Mac 10 handle, scheming on you niggas. I sit alone in my dirty ass room staring at candles, high on drugs, all alone with my hand on the Mac 10 handle, scheming on you niggas. That's right. Now we do it, nigga. I sit up all night and plot on your head, nigga. We coming, it's not a fucking game, nigga. We coming, nigga. Oh, we coming, nigga, believe that.
If he should happen to write
we run around getting all this money on tour. You know what I'm saying? I really ain't got time for you bitch ass niggas. But this weekend I got some time. You know what I'm saying? I might just put some work in. Yeah, we can fit them in. We can fit them in the schedule. Niggas act like they forgot it, son. I come poppin' for you, nigga. I don't give a fuck who you with. Daytime, where the fuck we at? You better stop, drop, and roll, nigga. And it's on and poppin'. High on drugs. That's right. Scheming on you niggas. Mac 10 handle.
You know, the funny thing about that video is that's the first video that was made specifically for YouTube from like a real artist, because MTV and BET, when you submit a video, man, it takes like 6 months of them saying you can't have this, you can't say this, you gotta do this. It's like so restricted, and P was just like, yo, fuck that shit. I don't want to be censored like that. So he's like, yo, I'm gonna just put it on YouTube, because excuse me, that's why it's so crazy. But yo, it's funny because like growing up, I didn't listen to P. I was such a Tupac fan. If you didn't fuck with Tupac, I didn't fuck with you. And you know, he was always going at Mobb Deep and shit. So I ain't really listened to Mobb Deep that much growing up until HNIC came out, and then that changed everything. But yo, I seen this video. I was just like, yo, what the fuck is this? This shit is incredible to me, because it's just like, it was so different than anything that was out at the time. Just like P. Every time HNIC was so different than everything. That's why it got me hooked.
Put it down with force.
That's not what I'm looking for. Yo, Trav, what is that one? What was that? That's what I was looking for. I knew we did a video to this.
Don P, Colonel 16s, Captain Boss, man, you could call me whatever the F you feel best, just as long as you spell my name right on the checks. I'ma keep doing what I do so well. Truth be told, without money I would still spill all of my thoughts into the beats. This is my passion, my baby, I breathe. Eat, sleep, and shit, soul music. Watch how my song touch you, it's spiritually moving. You might wanna cry. He got a problem with P, he might wanna die. Wow, so lovable and so humble, that if you cross me, then you deserve to stumble and fall on the Rambo knife. Look, homie, you obviously don't know me. I'm the one and only, infamous, notorious. 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 Bandana P, the fantastic one. Reptile, I spit acid, they can't done. I die harder than your average die hard-headed nigga. I don't learn till it's too late. In this early nigga, I don't take orders, fold or break under pressure. I don't take kindly to strangers or new faces. It might be the police, maybe the Diaz brothers come to get me. I got a dark sense of humor, gotta calm down a lot. I got a hot temper. I'm trying to change, but these people out here push me to engage in all types of fuckery, jealous and envious. Misery love company, they don't really love me. I had to sever our ties, sit back in my jacuzzi watching pelicans fly, thinking back how we used to be on the same page. I realize now that you nothing like me. I'm the one and only, infamous, notorious. The one and only, infamous, notorious. The one and only, infamous, notorious. one and only, infamous, notorious. My brain at the top, don't stop, it's endless. Watch me crush so-called competition. Man, listen, there is no threat to my position. These niggas is harmless, there's no comparison to rap's top shot, a best-selling author of non-fiction. You better pray I go easy and thank me for not exposing your bummer clot. I could go in on you, but I'm not. Success is the best revenge, and I'm fit to show you people how to do this here. Intelligent, smooth criminal music. You never lived this life, you can't relate to it. I'm the chief of all chiefs, the don of all dons, the boss of all bosses, the fucking warlord, the grand wizard of bars. When I die, my tombstone to read, he was the one and only, infamous, notorious. 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 Your head front if you want and get that brain pierced. You know them all from them projects out on Queensbridge. We popping it off and y'all ain't seen shit. I die infamous death, you go like a bitch. They bury me with all my all from them projects. Yeah, your head front of this.
I forgot to point out my cameo, man.
Yeah, your head front if you want and get misery love company. They don't.
See if y'all can find me in that video and point it out. I made a quick cameo in the background, but it's a funny story about that video. So, we're just shooting it in the neighborhood. We lived in Williamsburg at the time, and we was literally just shooting in the neighborhood. The guy in the store didn't want us to be in the store, but we just shot it real quick anyway, because, you know, it's no big cameras anymore, just small cameras. And when we got out of the store, we were sitting there talking about what we're going to do next in the video or whatnot, and fucking Kaylani walks into the store randomly. It's like 3 o'clock in the morning in Brooklyn, and she just kind of randomly walks in the store. It was just like, I was just like, yo, P, you should get her in the video real quick. But he didn't want to ask her that. But it was a real random moment. There was nobody on the streets. And then Kaylani and her homeboy and like two other people, they just randomly walked up to the store. It was really weird. But yeah, I'll make a cameo in that video. I'm gonna show y'all something real funny, non-P related, cause this shit makes me laugh every time I see it. I got the super cameo in this video. Yo, just hearing this song makes me laugh, yo.
It was a cold winter day. I was chilling out by the pool. Alright. Trying to figure out what to do with my life. It seems like everything I do is wrong, right on time. So I'll just stuff my bong and try to drink some wine to ease my mind. Maybe everything will be fine. I'm a daydreamer, living in a nightmare. I'm a daydreamer, wonder why we're all here. I'm depressed, I don't see it. I'm in deep now, damn near see now. All my problems, they stress me out. Find me so high, up in smoke clouds. Walk on the sky, blowing smoke out. Then I start thinking, when I start drinking, but I can't walk in the AA meeting. No, I'm addicted, my mind is afflicted, but I can't kick it. Need a one-way ticket out of this town, out of this world. So I start dreaming, let my thoughts unfurl. I'm a daydreamer, living in a nightmare. I'm a daydreamer, wonder why we're all here. Daydreaming, high so I don't care. I'm a daydreamer, my life is like a nightmare. I'm sick of my job, sick of my boss, sick of myself, and I'm sick of my thoughts. Sick of this drink and I'm sick of this weed. It keeps me early down on my knees, praying to the porcelain, looking at the stall. Somebody wrote their name and their number on the wall. That's when I blacked out. Either that or I just passed out. That's when I start dreaming about some shit I don't remember. But this ain't nothing new to me, cause I'm a daydreamer. Fucked up, I'm a daydreamer.
So the ill cameo in the Gorilla Zoe video. That shit is hilarious to me because I just happened to be there. And they just, honestly, they just needed somebody white. And I just happened to be there. And I was white. And I had the Joe Hawk at the time. So my role was to be the counselor. And I was like, fuck it, I'm in there. So I just jumped in. And it was real funny because I was talking to him about the things we had to do. And they were just like, yeah, we're going to do this. And then he's going to wake up from his daydream and he's going to be pissed at you and like, rough you up or something. I was just like, yo, man, I played college football, so go ahead and make it look real. Just make this real. It's not a big deal. It's nothing. So when he threw me up against the wall, man, he really threw me up against the wall. He's a big dude, man. Gorilla Zoe's a big dude. He just picked me up like it was nothing. It was just like, it just pinned me up against the wall. It was mad hard. Look at him, man. He's picking me up like a little kid, yo. Look at that. He's just picking me up like nothing. Like, but, he slammed me up against the wall, and everybody was like, oh, shit. And I was just like, nah, man, it's good. I was like, you got to make it look real. I said, I can take it. It's not a big deal. So, later on in the video, I'm a daydreamer. My life is like a nightmare. Right there. I'm a daydreamer. My life is like a nightmare. Sick of my job. Right there when I kind of smacked him on the head. So the take before that, I kind of like, I hit him too hard. Because he had thrown me up against the wall. And then, so I was just like, we gotta make the shit look real. And he wasn't even mad when I did it, but everybody else was like, oh shit, he just smacked him. I ain't really like, I wasn't like that, but I was just like, you gotta make it look real. Tapped him on the top of his head with some weight behind it. Everybody was like, oh shit. So they didn't keep that take because he was just like, nah, man, you can't keep that take, man, because, I kind of hit him. But, so, in response to me kind of giving him a little bit of a too much on the head tap, a little bit later in the video, he's supposed to make it look like he's hitting me in the head with the clipboard, but he really hit me in the head with the clipboard, yo.
I'm sick of my boss, sick of myself, and I'm sick of my thoughts. Sick of this drink and I'm sick of this weed.
quick.
Somebody wrote their name and they're living in a nightmare. I'm a daydreamer. Wonder why we're all here.
Yeah, right there, yo.
Daydreaming.
Yeah, man, he really hit me with the clipboard, yo.
Wonder why we're all here.
The slap is fake.
Daydreaming. I saw it.
The clipboard was not fake. But it was all good though, man. The shit was bad fun. It completely unexpected. I will give you that one. There's one more. Cause I usually don't do videos, man. I'm always just there hanging out and clearly smoking, just chilling. It's not really what I do. But Big Twins made me get in this video. Come on, son, you gotta get the video going.
Fresh bread.
And that's my homie, so you know, for him I did.
New York will force the best to come out of you or force you to fold up.
New York, NY, New Yiddy done. Queensbridge projects, we the rotten apple.
I guess it's about time to pay a visit on you all. I guess it's about time to pay a visit on you all.
The place of hip hop, I'm glad to be a part of it. I hope my shit pop. Millions of people, but probably got more rats. Wild as a kid, I love running the train tracks. Everybody hustling, trying to get the bills paid. Don't fuck with the blood's done, probably get your crib sprayed. Everybody mad, walk around with an attitude. Don't owe a nigga money done, he probably get at you. But it's good times, especially summertime. Shorty's all bad, they'll blow your mind. The rent is all high, you gotta have chips. To live in NY, you gotta do it big. In the city I was born, I wanna die in. And the cops is reckless, they start firing. We got any drug you can ever want. And we start the drama before your niggas front. New York, NY, New Yiddy done. Queensbridge projects, we the rotten apple.
I guess it's about time to pay a visit on you all. I guess it's about time to pay a visit
Take 'em
on
home.
you all.
Let's go. Yeah. I give you nightmares. You be happy it was just a dream. You wake up thinking God that it wasn't real. P. Kruger, who will stalk you in your sleep like Freddy. Plus I see you in real life. Your legs turn spaghetti. I can stop your accounts like the IRS. I said you can't pump no more. Nah, that's dead. This the new shit for 2020. We made it to the future. Thank God for loving the head nigga in charge, the infamous notorious gang. Your girl loved my hoodie, so I gave it to her man. Ayy. Porno flick, she wanted wild for the night. I give her all of this. NYC, real bad boy, fixing niggas with these tools on my belt. Call Sonny, get the hitters. I'll burn your mama house down with that bitch in it. You flipped on me, time to pay you a visit.
New York, NY, New Yiddy done. Queensbridge projects, we the rotten apple.
This is funny to me.
Get the hitters, I'll burn your mama house down with that bitch. With these tools on my belt, call Sonny, get the hitters.
You can see right here, this is the point in the video when Twin comes over to me and says, yo, son, you gonna let me hit that or what? Because the entire time in the background of the video, I was like, yo, if I want to be in this video, I ain't doing nothing but rolling this blunt. And he was just like, yeah, whatever. So we actually shot that on top of the of the building in Williamsburg. But at this point, this is where Twin comes and asks me if he could hit the blunt. And at that point, that's when I never saw that blunt again.
I'll burn your mama house down with that bitch in it. You flipped on me, time to pay you a visit.
That blunt that he was just smoking, yeah, I never saw that
on me.
That one right there, RIP to that blunt. Thanks, twin. But if you watch the video from the beginning again, which I'm not going to do, it just looks like I'm rolling blunts, the one single blunt the entire time, but I'm actually rolled at least 2, maybe 3 during that one scene, but at minimum 2, because twin took that one from me, which was all good. I don't care. It's just a funny story. Shout out to Big Twins. Once again, yo, shout out to today's sponsor, Fire Rank 36 on Instagram, yo. Hit him up for the Hegelian Lyrics shirt. This shit is dope, man. He sent me the print too. So I'm all about collecting fan art and things like that. I frame them all and put them up. Little homie fan just sent me this. I encourage it all. Yo, anybody that gets a drum pack, send me the beats you make, man. I want to hear them shits. I definitely want to hear them shits. So let me find another record, because I'm running out of stories to tell for today. That is for sure. See if I can find one to walk off to. Is this what I think it is?
Show some love to some legends in the game, you know what I'm saying? This some hip-hop best I'm about to bring out to the stage. And you say New York City, put your motherfucking hands together. You love hip-hop. We got my people's mob deep in the house. Make some noise.
Yeah, I'm all deep to it, man. We from that era, man. Where, yo, man, it's a select few, man. You know what I'm saying? It's a select few. And that's what it is today, man. What the fuck, ain't nothing changed, man. Always remember that. Ain't nothing changed, man. When you up, everybody wanna be down. They all wanna be down. They all wanna be down. Everybody wanna be down when you up. Down when you up. Down when you up. When you up. Everybody wanna be down. They all wanna be down. They all wanna be down. Everybody wanna be down when you up. When you up, they all wanna be down. I used to be that nigga. Everybody loved me. Girls wanted to kiss and hug me. It was lovely. All the fellas wanted to be just like P. Wanted to hang out and party with them from all deep. My pockets was full. I bought everybody drinks. I'm not selfish. I bought everybody things. Bottles, bags of smoke, a lot of food. We got it poppin'. I got the hotel rooms. Everybody wanted to get their hand tattooed. Same spot where I got my hand tattooed. Wanted to be down with the team, and most of these people didn't even know me. My concerts packed, my albums platinum and gold. My messages was full on my cell phone. You couldn't tell me nothing, I was frontin' on my throne with my crown. Thought my high would never come down. When you up, everybody wanna be down. They all wanna be down. They all wanna be down. Everybody wanna be down when you up. Down when you up. Down when you up. When you up. Everybody wanna be down. They all wanna be down. They all wanna be down. Everybody wanna be down when you up. When you up, they all wanna be down. Just as soon as my money ran out and the thing start to fizzle out, nobody around now, they see the rain cloud. First it start drizzling, then it start pouring. I turned around and found myself by myself soaking, wet like a street dog. Looking mangy, what happened to the people I looked out for? They played me. Girls used to stalk me, now they don't want me. They want the new popular nigga, they just ignore me. My fans outgrew me, the young kids like, who he? Proud of what? Never heard of him, please. Try to tell them that they favorite rapper got that from me. but they just laugh and say I'm hating on his cheese. I can't do a show cause only 10 people show. They see me on the train, they say, look at the broke, washed up has-been, and start laughing. I pull my hat low to try to avoid embarrassment. When you up, everybody wanna be down. They all wanna be down, they all wanna be down. Everybody wanna be down when you up, down when you up, down when you up, when you up. Everybody wanna be down, they all wanna be down, they all wanna be down. Everybody wanna be down when you up, they all wanna be down. Look at me now, motherfucker, I recovered and bounced back strong. My life is one long comeback song. Always find myself proving myself worthy. I suppose it's my fault, you do me so dirty. Fickle ass custies, change with the seasons. Fans is cold-blooded, they just leave you there bleeding. And truthfully speaking, I like that shit, cause it keep me on my toes and make me write that shit.
Yo, so shout out to everybody that popped in. We hit the 2-hour mark. So I was going to end it on that one, but I see another record right below this one, so I'm going to play this one because this one, I just love this record, man. I really do. So shout out to Chinx. Chinx was a real good dude, man. Chinx used to just pop up in the studio randomly, and I always used to ask him like, yo, you rapping today? And be like, nah, I just want to stop in and saying what up, yo. Super nice dude, man. And I have another funny Chinx story for another episode if y'all remind me. But you know, like I said, shout out to everybody for coming through. 333 RIPP. You know, I don't know what I'm gonna do next week. I'll figure it out. The Wolf said what up. He knows it's 2 o'clock. He knows it's over. So, you know, shout out to the community. You know, I do it for you guys. But yeah, I love this record, man. I'm gonna end it on this one.
Haha. Know what I mean? I've been counting money for 3 days. Tired. Fuck with a youngin'. Get them Androids and iPhones handy for this quick depiction. Of his 5th night sliding with a different vixen. Talking out of terms, Richard Nixon. From where your best friends cross you like the Mason-Dixon. That's right. I swear to God, I traded every chain a nigga own, but that's only if the Knicks win. Rejuvenated like he caught his 5th win. Me and Miss Lady, Grandma, Ye, shrimp and rice to chinchillas. Stay grounded to the streets like a vehicle with no suspension. Hit the Dominican Botanica for spirit cleansing. School by my OG, used to often listen. At his chess table, sipping on a Valentine, smoking Winstons. The year in my car, both fists. In the projects, you can hear the loud whispers. 6 links, scooped your baby mother in the Brinks. It's your number 1 coke boy, Chinx.
Stuck off the realness, field is about to kill us. I hand off, then ran off like Childress. A man's war, you playing for it like field trips, but can't fall and stand tall like Gilchrist. Misunderstood, still up in the hood. Harlem gangster in the gang like Bill Underwood. I'm at the airport, clear at the hope he brung the goods. If it's 50, I need 40 to feed a couple wolves. I seen greed team the evil up, and fucking the same bitch split your peoples up. I'm giving you this dope before the needle touch. I could tell that you broken, they ain't feed you much. Black LSR sweatsuit with the pink patch. Soccer Kobe's to bless you with the mean match. Want the range like special with the ski racks. Keep a soldier to check you on the G-packs.
Every man for they self in his hellhole. This is life, nigga, wake up to the stench, fool. Ain't nothing nice out here, it's just all wrong. The roses in the concrete get stepped on. Ain't no palm trees, the jungle got cemented over. Cold-blooded niggas, our hearts is froze over. I used to pray as a kid to make the pain stop, and God never responded, so I just manned up and raindropped on a pussy nigga head, that's a lineup. Dumb nigga, I could tell they ain't teach you much. I'm carnivorous, soft nigga, use a herbivore. Retaliate if you want, just mean we gon' murder more. My power exceeds my small frame. They hesitating, they know my strength insane. Somebody gon' die right now, nigga touch me. It's not worth it trying to show off in front of honeys, run alone.
Yeah, I don't know who made that beat, man, but that shit is incredible. R.I.P. Chinx, R.I.P. P, man. That's one of those records that I'm real happy that I was a part of. Every time I hear it, I'm just like, yeah, that was fun. That was a fun one. It's fun when you do a session, you end up with something like that. So, shout out to everybody. Shout out to the community. Shout out to the Wolf. I'll see y'all next week, man. RIPP 333.